Hi, this is Jim Lyon, the host of the All That to Say podcast. Before you dive in today, be sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can catch all of our fearless conversations.
When the goal is to close something, obviously that leaves ideas wide open. You can try anything. The worst that can happen
Nothing
is...
to lose.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you do, close us?
Yeah, and so we just kind of say, what would it be to be a multicultural, multilingual church, go in, make everyone uncomfortable. If it's truly multicultural, that means that even me as a white male pastor should be uncomfortable in the service I'm supposed to be leading. So we did that, and so we started building more relationships with immigrants who would attend. And time again, the question was related to, immigration, paperwork, forms, documents, driver's license. And once again, my training was missionary anthropology. I'm an ordained Wesleyan pastor, but I come at things from a different angle. So my assumption was you don't always create things. Like on the mission field, a lot of it is saying, well, this organization, this NGO or this church does that well. Like not everyone has to dig wells because this group is doing that. And so my assumption was since everyone had the same question, immigration legal services, it was like, go there. And then there was no there. Like I said, the closest there was Chicago or Indianapolis, and people were spending thousands and thousands of dollars. And it was like...
Because the cost of legal help in those places was over the top.
Yeah, immigration attorneys are very expensive. It's hard to get in a lot of times because the need is so great. And then we found out in 2013 that all the way from back in the 50s, there's been this program in the Department of Justice that a non-attorney, if they would get training and experience, prove competency through passing a test, applying to multiple government agencies, but they would allow a non-attorney that was tied to a nonprofit organization to practice immigration law. And I'm an idea person, and I have lots of ideas, and so most of them need sorted through, and my wife does that, and she's like, these ones are all really bad. In that one, we joke, in 2013, Lindy's like, let's do it. It's going to help our friends. It's going to help these people. My first clients were the family that welcomed us. Wow. It was like, we want to help them. We want to return the welcome. And so she said, let's do that, thinking that we would help, a few friends. What's amazing about that story is this really this program got larger in the 90s when Reagan gave the ability for a lot more people to have access to lawful permanent residence or getting a green card. About 300, 400 nonprofits rose up, but they were primarily like parachurch organizations if they were involved with faith, or they were like ethnic organizations like, the Asian American community of Central Indiana or something. But the whole time it was like churches are nonprofits.
Like they qualify by the law.
Yeah. It's like, why won't churches do this? So when we did this and we opened in 2014, we were one of less than 5 churches in the whole country to ever do that. And it was all birthed in saying, this was the number one felt need. Everyone was asking about this, and there was no other place to go. So we should do this, especially because we're the church, especially because, and I'm sure we'll unpack this later, but I mean, this is part of the ethic of what it means to follow God and follow Jesus. And that birthed this movement that has grown because what we found was immigrants now live in lots of places. I mean, you grew up in Seattle. It used to be like it was on the coast, big cities. It's like now we're talking about Logansport, like rural areas, suburban areas, middle of nowhere places. And most law firms, we need more immigration law firms. I love immigration attorneys. If you're an immigration attorney, thank you for your work if you're listening. But there's just not enough. 45 million, probably the census will say it's probably up to 50 million maybe immigrants live in our country. There's only about 15,000 immigration attorneys. There's less than 1,000 of these nonprofits. I mean, the need is great. And the only way this need is going to go to a place like Logansport, Indiana, is because churches go where people go, and so there are churches even in these small communities that have need. And so we quickly realized this needs to be more than Immigrant Connection at the bridge in Logansport. This needs to be something that churches do far and wide, all around, because this is a huge need and we need the church to step into it.